Hey everybody, welcome to one of the Scars, come on, views and files, welcome to tuning in. If you guys are interested in some important YouTube tips, please stay tuned. Alright everybody, so this video is basically going to be a little bit on the professional side, meaning and kind of serious side, because this is only for YouTubers that are serious about their channel and that they're on a one-way track, or not one way, but you know what I mean, with the tunnel vision and stuff like that. If you are not serious, then you can click the X now, okay? Because at the end of the day, there are a lot of people on YouTube that are serious about their channel and they're not going back and forth. They're basically have the tunnel vision and this is what they want to do, and that's just basically about that. If you're on here for play, this is not the video for you, okay? So yeah, so stay tuned for how to get like some growth on your channel, especially if you are new to YouTube. And to older YouTubers, there could be some tips in here as well, okay? All right, so I have my little notes here, so I'm going to look down here. And I have some important tips. Now, I have done some videos on YouTube about YouTube tips and things of that sort. But I was like, let me just, I haven't really gone into detail about certain things. And I really consider these tips to be important, especially if you are new to YouTube. So, yeah. All right, so here we go. So, the thumbnail. That's the first thing that everybody looks at before they click onto your video. So your thumbnail should be like eye-catching or somewhat, or to show that you did put some type of effort into a still picture or whatever the case is before they come into the video. Okay, there are shots after you're done with the after you're done with your video, there are still shots that YouTube take. It's like 3 of them. And sometimes YouTube be on point with it, and sometimes YouTube is not on point with it. Sometimes you have shots where your mouth is open, especially if you're talking, or your hand up, or some weird type of deal. Some people leave those up. Those are not the thumbnails that you would like to have on there unless it coincides with your title. If it has nothing to do with your title and you're on there with your mouth wide open and whatever the case is, that is not good, okay? 9 times out of 10, people are not going to really click on it unless they've been following you for a while. Any newcomers will bypass that because they're like, what in the world type of video was that? You see what I'm saying? And so that's basically about that, because me, if I see something like that, I'm not going to click on it because it's just like, what are you doing? The thumbnails have to be very catchy to me. They have to be, catchy, and I have to really, want to watch it or whatever the case is. And if I'm subscribed to whatever the case is, I'm going to watch it anyway, of course, if I'm interested. But this is for especially for newcomers or new subscribers that's coming to your channel. So you want to catch new viewers, so your thumbnail should be like the most important, one of the most important things that you should have up to par. Okay, once again, you don't want any still shots that doesn't go with your title. So if you have a title that says gardening, and you're talking about gardening, and then you have a thumbnail, a still shot that captured you with your mouth open, no, like that, how does that go with gardening? You see what I'm saying? So you have to have a picture that goes, especially with your title. So your thumbnail is very important. Okay, lighting is one of the most important things. Okay, oh sorry, going back to thumbnails, the software that I do use PicMonkey. I do pay $8 a month. Before, it used to be free, but they have other free apps that you can use, or whatever the case is, or you could buy software that you can have on your computer, or whatever the case is. So it's really up to you how you want to invest in your channel. So at first, I was using PicMonkey, and they said you had to, if you want to use it some more, if you got to do this, whatever like that, you have to pay the $8. So I decided to pay the $8. I'm like, what's the big deal about that? I have not had any problems, whatever the case is. But if you want to go the free route, there are other free applications out there that you could definitely use, and that is, more convenient or better for your pockets. Okay. All right, so the lighting, same thing with the lighting, whatever it falls into your budget, okay? The lighting that I use is the Limo Studios light, and I also use a ring light. I believe this is the newer ring light, okay? I have been using the newer ring light just fairly recently, okay? And Limo Studio I have been using for years, okay? So with the lighting, when I first started my channel, my lighting was not this bright. My lighting was not this good, okay? So you use what you can on a budget. So whatever lights that you can use, you could buy lights from Target, Walmart, or whatever the case is. There are a lot of DIY ring light videos on YouTube that you could use, and there are a lot of budget-friendly lighting videos that you can go to on YouTube. There is everything on YouTube. So what I'm saying is that you can use whatever that fits your pockets, okay? When I first started this channel, I did not have this. I definitely invested in my channel and stepped up the game, okay? Because I wasn't going to stay in that low, you know, for that long period of time. It's called saving, okay? So when you save and then put into your channel, you know, you will get a lot back. You will get a lot back, okay? So that's just basically about that. So you do what works for you. I'm not saying to go out and buy Limo Studios and newer ring light and whatever the case is, because when you're first starting out your channel, you may not want, because YouTube is not for everybody. So you may not like the way YouTube is. You may not like YouTube, and you might just want to, you know, whatever the case is. So start low, you know, in the budget, start low. And then if you do like it, then up your investment into your channel. You know what I mean? And lighting is very important, especially if you're showing any DIYs, or if you're doing any planning, or if you're showing anything or teaching somebody something, a tutorial. Your lighting have to be at the par. If I'm watching a video and you're showing me a tutorial on how to twist locks or whatever the case is, or whatever product, or you show me a planning video, and the lighting is very low where I can't see anything, I have to squint, and I have 20/20 vision, I will click off the video, because I'm not going to sit up here and do that, you know, strain my eyes when I can easily go to a well-lit video and watch that and, you know, get that outcome or whatever the case is. So you want to make sure, because you could turn away viewers like that as well. So you want to make sure you have a well-lit area, even if you're not showing anything. Like I'm just sitting here talking to you guys, and you want to see me, you want to see my facial expressions, you want to see if I'm doing something, or if I'm gonna pop up, you know, pick up something real quick so you guys can see. You want to see, you know. If I'm totally in the dark, then I will click out of it. You see what I'm saying? So that's just basically about that. So yeah, so you don't want to be totally dark, because you want people to see you, okay? Okay, so once again, there are, you know, products that are low budget in lighting, and you don't have to get the Limo Studios or the newer, you know, I'm not out here telling you to do that. You know, you start out as low budget, and then you work yourself up. Now, if you have the coins, then go ahead. But if not, start off low, okay? But lighting is definitely important. Okay, quality, again, back to budgeting. Quality, your camera quality and things of that sort. Lighting comes into play as well. Okay, with cameras, I had a Sony HD camera, and that was about $100 back when I first started YouTube. That's all I could afford, okay? So my first video, the lighting was bad. The quality was not as well as I wanted to as today. And so I started, you know, taking it up a notch when I could. I purchased a light from, you know, from Target or Walmart. It was a little bit yellow, whatever the case is, that's okay, you know, but people was able to see me. I was able to give tutorials and nobody complained, okay? You know, because people will tell you that they can't see what you're doing, because you're doing a tutorial, they need to see what you're doing. So my lighting was good for that point, but I wanted to upgrade or whatever the case is. So as far as the camera, I wanted to upgrade. I went through two cameras. I had, I believe, a T4i, I believe, or no, I had a T3i, Canon Rebel T3i. And then I stepped up the game to a Canon T5i. Now I want to get the Canon, I don't know, I think T7i, 8i, I don't know what's out now, but I want to get that next. But I did purchase a Canon G-Shot 7X or whatever it's called. I did purchase that. That's another camera. And I also purchased a webcam, which is a Logitech cam, okay? And yeah, so I only purchase these things as my channel grew, and I also saved money, and I also started getting paid from YouTube. So I will take some of that, or I will take all of that YouTube money and put it towards back into my channel to make my channel and improve my channel a little bit better. So you want the quality to be good with your camera as well, because especially like I said before, if you're doing DIY videos or if you're doing videos period, you want people to see you. You want people to see you move your mouth or whatever you're doing, or if you want to show somebody something, you don't want it to be to where it's grainy or it looks like it's all you know, computerized or whatever the case is. But once again, use what you can as long as they can see what you're doing and they don't have a problem. But at the end of the day, if you're serious about your channel and you want to upgrade, save your money and get better quality equipment, okay, or whatever the case is. All right, so but use what you can. Sound, your sound, okay? Again, if you're doing voiceovers, you want people to hear you. You want people to hear what you're saying and what you are presenting, okay, to the people. So even though, okay, when you do voiceovers, your mic has to be in check, okay, because you're just doing a voiceover and they're seeing a video with no sound, but your voice is guiding the video, okay? So you want to make sure that your mic is nice, okay? Now, there are a lot of mics out there that are budget friendly. They have this mic that I have that I did do a review on. I'll put in the iCard above and I'll put in the description bar below. Some of the things that I'm talking about in the video, if I have any videos that whatever the case is, I'll put it down in the description bar below. But this one in particular is very it's very budget friendly, and so you could definitely purchase this off Amazon. I believe it's like $10 or $20 or something like that, no more than that. So you could definitely check this out, because a lot of people, I get a lot of compliments with this mic, okay, for being that price, okay, and I was sent this for free, you know, to review, okay? So that's basically about that. So you want to make sure that your mic is very clear and people can hear you and understand you. You don't sound muffled, or you don't sound echoey. That's not a word, but you don't sound all echoey or staticky, muffled, or you're underwater. You want people to hear you. If I sound like an echo, or if I sound like I was muffled or underwater, and I was editing the video and I saw and I heard that that's what my video was doing, if I hear my voice sounding like that, I am definitely redoing the video. This is what a YouTuber does, okay? Especially if you want it to be a nice quality video, okay? I will click out if your mic is doing the most, because I can't hear you, okay? I can't hear you. All right. So yeah. So your background, whatever your background is, you can have your regular background. Make sure it's clean. Make sure you don't have stuff on the floor or stuff to where, because people are nosy and they will be looking in the background at something and trying to find something, and when they do, some people are bold and will point it out to you. So make sure that your background is good. I was a product junkie, so I had a lot of products in my background. As I moved away from that, I started just using backgrounds that I purchased from Amazon. I also purchased a divider and things of that sort, you know, as a background, you know, the Chinese background, whatever it is. And I started stepping my game up. So I also did the green screen. The green screen is too much, meaning that with the rendering and the editing and stuff like that, so I don't use it as much. But with this, I'll just throw this background up and keep it moving, okay, or whatever the case is, because I don't want to show any products and stuff like that. Sometimes if I'm too lazy to put this up, then you will see it, but at 9 times out of 10 you will see this background, just to make it a little bit more professional. But if you have your background, make it look professional, make it look like it's something about you or what you're portraying on your channel, and you should be fine. Editing is a whole thing within itself. It's really up to you if you are into really editing, meaning if you're really particular, if you want all the transitions, the flashiness and all that stuff. Of course you're going to be on your video for a while, because the background stuff does take a while, and I know I'm anal, so it takes me an extra while, okay? The intros that you see that be a second or, you know, or a minute or whatever the case is, takes about an hour and a half to do for me, or a little bit longer, depending upon how much things I want to put in there. The intro that you see in this video took me about an hour and a half to 2 hours, because I had to get a picture, I had to do this. So it's really up to you how much time you want to spend on it. If you want to rush on a video and you want to get the same outcome as Sally, Jack, and Jane, well, they good today. If you want to get the same outcome as them, then don't get mad when you only spend, you know, a second on trying to edit a video and you're mad. Don't be mad at yourself. You have to put in the time. Okay, you can't just quick rush something and think that is going to be like theirs. No, but of course it's not going to be exactly like theirs. But if it's not similar to theirs or up to your standards, then you know you have to spend a little bit more time again, or whatever. This takes time. YouTube takes time, especially editing. It takes time, so you have to take your time. If you don't like editing, some people just put up a video and keep it moving, whatever the case is. They don't do any editing because they can't do it, then that's you. But if you're trying to get into editing and stuff like that, just know it takes time, and you have to be willing to, you know, take up that time. If not, then don't touch the editing. You see what I'm saying? So you can't have ASS it, okay? You have to do what you have to do, you know, in order to have a good, you know, whatever channel that is up to your standards. Once again, if you're trying to do the editing, or if you're trying to, whatever the case is, do not get frustrated. Take your time, look at some tutorials, ask some questions, and it doesn't hurt to ask YouTubers, you know, questions and stuff like that. I have asked some YouTubers questions like what type of mic are you using and stuff like that, and they'll answer you. 9 times out of 10, you know, if you don't get an answer, that's fine. Move on to the next person and ask. You know, they're not the only ones on YouTube that you can ask. There's a plethora of people on here that does tech videos, so you can ask them. Presentation. So presentation overall is in a nutshell of what I just basically spoke about. Is your whole channel in a nutshell. Okay, what you portray, what you put on your channel is who you are. Okay, basically. All right. So if you're trying to make your channel professional, try to have all your thumbnails up to par. Some of my older videos, the thumbnails are not up to par, but I definitely ever since I started doing the thumbnails, from then on up, I started, you know, doing the thumbnails. Okay, also your content, whatever content that you want to have, if you're trying to be professional and that's what you want straight on your channel, especially whatever the case is, you want to do what you got to do, whatever the case is. If your channel is like iffy back and forth with other stuff other than what you're saying that you see as being professional, or whatever the case is, or other than what you're talking about, like your niche, you know, I didn't talk about that, but we'll talk about that. Then you need to clean up your channel. Clean up your channel. Okay? If you're about the professional life of a YouTuber and your brand, if it's important to you, clean up your channel. That's just basically it about that. Just clean it up and call it a day. And ignore whatever BS that you have going on in the background. You see what I'm saying? So if you want your channel to succeed or get exposure or get other people into your channel or new subscribees to your channel, you have to clean it up, especially if it's a whole bunch of nothing on there that doesn't pertain to your niche. Okay? Okay. And yeah, so protecting your brand. So I'm going to go into that too. So being professional and protecting your brand. All right, this is going to be a 2-part video. I'm going to talk about that, and then I'm going to do an overview, and I'll be right back. So part 2, we're going to talk about being professional and protecting your brand, because I see this video is going to be too long. So we'll be back with that. So stay tuned for part 2. If you have any questions, comments, comment on that. Comment on that. Thank you for watching. Peace. Bye.